in your notes that you took. Think about your understanding of similes. Just think. You don't need to discuss this with a partner right now. I'm going to give you some thinking time. Think about your understanding of similes and figurative language, and what did you find in your book? It's okay.
I heard like a lot, but I couldn't remember the whole.
That's okay. So, think about those. With your partner that you've been working on with your books, discuss your thoughts and your findings. Tell each other what similes you found, what makes it a simile, and what it means, like what that simile means to you. And then we're going to come back and share as the whole class. All right, talk about it with your partners. Talk about it with your partners. What did you find?
You said she. You said she. You said she.
No, Jeanne. I had that. What do you say? I also highlight. I don't know if it was exactly like this, but I were no. It was like the one. When you go to like
It wasn't she. It was for what? You can look at the book. What was fluttering? You said what was it? It was fluttering like a moth.
I just noticed something. No. Her pulse.
Her pulse.
Wait, I noticed something. You know how it says to grow dim like losing power, loses power. It's kind of like losing the light. Because every time you grow,
Everyone's okay.
because grow dim like to grow.
It means that you're losing your life. That's right. Exactly. But
there's 40 chapters, and then like all your you just got like around chapter 11, all your power 10 more.
That's another simile. Yes. But going back to that fluttering, the heartbeat of the fluttering heartbeat. What does that mean? You said it's fluttering like a moth. What does that mean? Alan, you were the one who brought me said something about her heartbeat.
Her pulse is probably going faster. They know that the peak of the so probably like the moth was size.
So how does that relate to her grandmother?
Her pulse like feel like the sides, and then like when it hits the sides, it's wait. And then this is good.
What did you find? Was it something similar or related?
Yeah. This if I say that when I was going to the store and I went to that that means turn the volume down.
Okay.
Drawing?
Alright. Taking it back. You don't need to pause it. It's fine. Thank you. So I talked to some birdies, a couple people over here. Some found her heartbeat was like a fluttering moth. Who found that one? Who found that simile? You found it? It's fine. You found one? It's okay, but did you find more than that when you came across the reading? Okay, so we kind of discussed that one. What does her heartbeat was fluttering like a moth? What does that mean? It was fluttering fast. How does that relate to her grandmother's health?
So like her heartbeat was like fighting to keep beating, like stay alive.
Okay. What did you come across? Kendall, did you find any more?
I found 4.
Okay. Can you read them or give me what they basically say? Can you quote them for me?
What?
Can you quote them? What are they?
Okay, the first one is the one that you said, right? The second one was like the one when she was drawing. It was like crushing like water in a pipe. And then the last one, no, the third one was Granny's voice was like a thin line in the dark air.
Okay. Good. So we just talked about the Granny's line, the Granny's voice was like a thin line in the dark air. But you brought up one that we haven't talked about. Gabriel?
The drum.
She said it was, Kendall quoted, it was like when she tried sorry, wrong one. It was a sort of pressure, like water in a pipe. So the it was referring to what, Kendall?
The water. She was saying how whenever she was drawing the other scene, she felt pressured and she always drew it the same. So she kind of got a little angry. But then she drew it differently this time. She drew it with a blue sky. So she was just saying how like she kind of felt pressured with the drawing.
Not quite. It seems like pressure could be something negative in this sense. But if you go back, so it is referring to her imagination.
Is this
She was like but you did mention something great, which was that every time she would draw in the past, that was all she could draw, right? She hit a wall. But this time it says her imagination was a sort of pressure, like water in a pipe. So when you think of water rushing through the pipe, what kind of image does that give? Or that's an image, but what kind of ideas can you get from that, Alejandro? Anything else? All right, hold that thought. Emerson, what were you going to say? Oh, were you just stretching? Okay, this one is a little bit more complicated. It was a sort of pressure, like water in a pipe. So she's referring to her imagination. Before, she was so stuck on something. Sarah, what did you want to say?
So she's stuck on something, but the pressure in the pipe goes up, and then once it's released, it goes.
Which means what?
It goes really fast, and it's all sudden.
But how does that refer to her imagination?
Sometimes she gets stuck. She doesn't know what she's gonna draw.
But this time?
This time, it's like pressure in her pipe, and it finally released.
So what's it? It's what I know, but what is that? What is that?
Water.
Not the water, but what is it? What is it?
Imagination.
Her imagination, yes. This time she is able to draw more. What was she able to draw this time?
The city. A blue sky.
The blue sky. Yes.
The sun yet.
Not the sun. It's not. She hasn't gotten there yet, but I feel like she's getting so close. Yes. In your writing journal, write City of Ember, March 9.
Wait.
City of Ember, March 9. Or 3-9, yes, that's fine. So you have 2 writing prompts. The first. What? It's easy.
Yeah.
You've got this. We've been talking about all of this today. Define simile in your own words. So write a meaning, a definition of simile in your own words. I think simile means.
No.
Okay. That's part 1. You only need 1 sentence.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Part 2. This one's going to be a little bit trickier. Create 3 of your own similes to describe Lena's feelings with regards to Brandon's death. This is hard. I know this is hard.
I know.
I know you need practice, and I'm going to help you, and that's okay. Did anyone notice what similes had in common when we were reading them? Alex. It refers to something real. What else? What words did you always see in similes when we were reading them, when I was reading them?
Like.
And was
This is a big one. This will help you.
as
Like is as.
What can you do? It was
You can use it. Yeah, it can be referred to Lena's feelings.
describe.
So, not describe, but I'll give you an example. So my example for Lena's feelings were Lena's sadness was like a pile of rocks heavy in her heart. So, can your feelings be like a pile of rocks? No. But it's a big pile of rocks, they're very heavy. So why would I use that to compare Lena's sadness?
Because her heart was heavy. She's feeling down. Heavy.
She's feeling down. She's feeling brought down by the situation. She's so sad. That is what I interpret as a simile.
I saw a picture here that
So,
said rock.
go ahead, get started. You can go to any of the tables. Similar. What does similar sound like? No. What
It sounds like similar.
It sounds like similar. So, yes, exactly. So you said it's something similar. So you remember the word similar. So a simile refers to things that make them similar. Okay. So I I know you said that you need a little bit of help, but that's a good start.
Number 2, three of your own siblings are
How did Lena feel about Granny's death? Sad. And what did she say? She felt what? Feeling down. You already got one for that. Okay. So what something that can send you like in a real one, you can see it. Which one's being left alone? So what? So that's now because Granny is actually part of the family. How dare you call us? Go ahead. She has no parents. Yes, because she has no parents. So Granny's her family.
Yeah, but now she's alone with Poppy.
She's alone with Poppy now. So, how would she feel that? How would she feel that now she's alone with Poppy? What's another word for alone? Or a similar word? It was a buck.
Lonely.
Her loneliness.
Lonely.
She's very lonely. So, can you describe her loneliness in another instance? Like, think about something that is tangible, something that you see in the real world. So, we have been going over figurative language before we start chapter 13. Who can tell me what this is? Hilton. You forgot? It's okay. What is this? Yes. And what are you going to add to that? About a simile?
It's about where you feeling inside or you're happy.
Okay. That's an example of a simile. But, Alan, yes, what were you going to say?
The example of a simile is something that is like that.
Yes. What is the key language? What are the key words that you know are in a simile? Zoe.
Well, it relates to
It's figurative language, yes. But when we were reading the City of Ember in the last couple chapters, you guys were pointing them out. What were some of the words that were across all the different similes that we saw, that we came across? Kendall. Like. What else? Say that louder, Emma. So we were comparing two things for the words like and as. Who can give me an example, either from the book or the ones that you made up? Emerson. You need more thinking time? Yeah, more thinking time? Okay. Vanessa? Yes, give me an example of a simile. You can use the examples that you came up with or from the book.
Granny's death was like the dark.
Yes. You're comparing Granny's death to the dark cave. Alex. So you guys have gotten a pretty good grasp about what a simile is. But who has heard, Alejandro?
Well, it's because of function in here. You know how it says,
Save that for later. Save that, okay? I know what you want to do. We're gonna get there. But something similar to a simile is something called a metaphor. Who has ever heard what a metaphor is? Someone mentioned a metaphor before. Emma.
a metaphor is like, it's like an expression. It's like saying something that you actually mean.
How is it similar to a simile? This is a new word. A metaphor is and a simile are both comparing things, which is what you're both getting at. Except within a simile, it's more obvious because you have words such such as clues, such as like or as. Her beauty was like a rose that bloomed in the springtime. But in metaphors, it isn't going to be as obvious. It's pretty much just going to equate. Remember last class when we used the example, I think Alejandra had the example, we were using the example of the lake. The lake is like a glittering mirror. So that's an example of a simile because it has the word like. Metaphor, it's not going to have like, it's not going to have as, but it's still going to be comparing things. For example, the mayor glared with, sorry, one more time. The mayor glared with eyes of ice. What are they comparing in that sentence? Let me read it one more time. I want you to think about this. The mayor glared with eyes of ice. There's no like or as, so that's not a simile, but it's comparing something. Hyla. And what kind of feeling does that give off? Kendall.
Kind of like might make them scared, like make their kind of blood and cold.
So similes and metaphors, they make those comparisons that it gives you an image in your head or a certain feeling without using these types of things. So as we read chapter 13 and chapter 14, I want you to continue looking for similes, but see if you can also find metaphors. And also, I gave you back your deciphering of the messages because I want you to check as we go along to see if you have what we're going to come across in chapter 13. So, on chapter 13, page 166, let's get started.